Hey there, I'm David. I'm a producer, a sound designer, and artist, and I'm currently studying at the UDK in Berlin. And my courses are sonic arts and sound studies. I hope you're all well and stay at home and do the best out of it. And for this purpose, to stay creative, I'm going to show you some neat little tricks that you can do with Ableton and the sampler. All the things you need for this is basically Ableton, a license for it, and a sampler. And yeah, let's start. When you fire up Ableton, you should see an empty template like this with an audio track and a MIDI track. For our purpose, we're going to open this tab, go to Instruments, select the sampler, and drag it into the MIDI channel. So currently our sampler is empty, and we want to fill it up with a variety of different samples. So we go to Samples, and we can actually just select, I don't know, random samples. I'm just doing it very randomly and go here, select a bunch of samples and drag them into the sampler. So when we dragged it in, we see that we currently have 58 samples in our sampler. To see them, you just click on Zone, and what you see here is that all our samples are basically distributed across the entire range of our keyboard. So we can play all the samples at once if we just play a note. We don't want that, so we go here, right click, and distribute our samples evenly. That means that each note has one sample. So when I play notes now, we should get a different sample each time I hit a key. Yeah, basically like that. And to play them, we create a clip. And now we create like 16th notes in our clip. So when we play the clip, we hear the same sample all over. What this technique does, basically what I showed you, is distribute them, and you can access the different samples via this small parameter, which is called zone shift. So if I play the sample now and adjust the parameter here, we get different samples. You can automate this. Basically, go to Automation, right-click Automation, and we just make a random curve here. So now each node will have a different sample according to our automation. So if you play this, we should get this, basically. It's not so obvious here, but you get the idea. So let us delete this automation, and instead of doing the automation, we are going to use the arpeggiator to access the different samples. So let's do it like this, and maybe create one long note instead of 16th notes. One note which is going all over the first bar. So when we start play now, we hear this. To access the different samples, you want to adjust the distance and increase the steps. So we play it now. We get almost we get a small rhythm. The cool thing about this technique is that you can still adjust like all of the parameters in the sampler and get a variety of different tones and timbres from it. And to make it even crazier, we can put a pitch in front of the arpeggiator and access our samples via the pitch. Okay, so we have a basic rhythm going here, and what we want to do is get more rhythmical structure into this. So we just duplicate this track and alter the settings of our devices here. So maybe do 16th notes here, play a bit with the gate length, maybe give it a bit groove, and also vary the distance. So we play this now. Yeah, we create some rhythms just. So we have like kind of a rhythm going here, and this is very useful for sound design, because if you want to make swooshes or sweeps or something like that, you can, for example, turn up the sync rate, play the sample here, and then you can this is maybe useful for sound effects, and if you apply a reverb or a delay to it, it can sound pretty nice actually. So the cool thing here is that we can, let's put this back to sync and give it a rate which is not so annoying. And the cool thing is that you can make another clip here and go to add simply more MIDI notes, which is going to advance the arpeggiator to a different rate. Not rate, but accessing different samples in the arpeggiator. So let's play this. And then so it sounds a bit random, and it strongly depends on the samples you're putting into the sampler. So I see here that I rarely have any like bass, so maybe let's add some kick drums just for the fun of it. And yeah, let's maybe go with that here. And you can still, after you did this whole process, drag them somewhere into your sounds. So we play this now. So we already can hear that we have some more bass content. And play with the different settings on the pitch and the arpeggiator to get different results. So if you want to crunch up the samples, or you think the sound is too clean, or it doesn't really sound interesting to you, you can still go to pitch oscillator, to the pitch oscillator tab in the sampler, and basically adjust the cross modulation, because like what this does is adding an oscillator to your samples, and if you increase the volume, the oscillator will cross modulate. That means like it will influence the sample that is usually in the sampler. So let me demonstrate. So with this you get a bit more crunch and distortion, maybe even if you want. You can just like let's do the same thing for the other sampler here. And play with the settings to get a result that you like. Play with the swing settings. Can get really synthy and gnarly. Yeah, like what is really nice is that you can make still automations to your sampler, and basically you could add a frequency automation that it goes up here. Adjust the settings and see where you get. So you see there's a lot of potential in this stuff. You could even add a pitch envelope to it and make it even crazier. So just try it. What I did here is the filter also has an envelope, and you can dial in like how much each node will advance the filter frequency to open up. So I hope this didn't get too nerdy, but and I hope also that I could demonstrate like the potential of it. And you don't really need much. What I said before, it depends a bit on the samples you're going to use and the style you want to create. But I really love this technique, and I would love to see what you come up with. And it would be really nice if you could send like some demos or like short snippets to us that we can check and like being also inspired from it. So have fun with it, and see you next time. Bye.